Stop everything you are doing and take a deep breath. I am speaking to you right now at this very moment. Do not keep scrolling through your phone or let your mind wander. Do not get distracted by what's around you. This moment is not random. It didn't happen by chance, and it's not here without a reason. I brought you to this exact second, in the space between one breath and the next, when your heart can no longer keep the pain inside. I brought you here because you ignored my signs. You silenced the unease I planted in you. You learned to survive, but forgot how to live, according to what I called you to do. I saw you pretend to be strong, while your thoughts screamed in silence. I saw you tell others that everything was fine, but deep down, you knew it wasn't. I saw you ignore your troubling dreams, dismiss the small warnings, and keep going as if nothing was wrong, even when something inside of you begged to be heard. I saw every small detail, every attempt to move forward aimlessly, and every effort to keep up appearances while your spirit slowly withered away. That's why I'm interrupting you now, to speak directly to you. Don't be afraid. This divine call is not here to scare you, but to wake you up. I am breaking the silence because you are about to reach a turning point, and if I didn't call you now, you might miss what I have carefully prepared for you. That is why I place my hand on your mind and ask you to listen. That is why I touch your heart and remind you that I am here with you. I bring light where you have felt lost. You came here thinking it was just another moment, but I set this meeting up for you long ago, since yesterday last week, even before you realize that the restlessness you felt was my way of calling you. I interrupt now to realign you, to wake you up. I interrupt because I care about you too much to let you keep going on without noticing what you are feeling, pretending everything is fine when you know it isn't. You know deep inside that something is calling out for guidance, asking for answers, looking for a sign. Do you realize I have been calling you? Let me confirm it for you. Yes, I have been calling you, and I am speaking to you now to remove all doubt. This is the moment your life has reached where I needed to step in. Take my word as care, as protection, as guidance. I interrupt because I want to lead you. I interrupt because something new is coming your way. I interrupt because you have chosen to hear what I am revealing. Now, before I share more what I have prepared, I will need you to take one simple moment but important step. One act that will seal in the spiritual world that you acknowledge my presence in these words. If you can hear me, if your spirit confirms that it's I who am calling you, comment now to show that you are with me. This is your first act of alignment. This marks the beginning of what I am about to do in your life. Pay close attention. Now, because I need you to understand why I have called you with such urgency at this exact moment. This is not just any moment. This is not a random pause in your life. And this is not something that happened by chance. This meeting was planned long before you even knew it. Written in the stars when the name you go by today didn't even exist. Every step you have taken recently, every feeling of emptiness, every thought that troubled you, every night you spent sensing that something big was about to happen, all of this has led you to this exact very moment. It may feel like your days have been passing without direction, that your actions have been disorganized, and that you have been walking without a clear purpose. But I tell you, none of that is true. Even when you ignored the small signs and sent, even when your mind tried to explain away the restlessness inside you, I was still guiding you. Even when you choose to follow your own understanding, I kept moving the pieces, leading you from within, urging you forward. When you tried to run away from what I needed you to see, and now you have reached the point where I must step in directly because your silence to my calls have brought you to a spiritual limit you cannot ignore. Something is coming into your life, and I cannot let you face it without clarity. I won't allow decisions made from fear or tiredness to steal away what I have prepared for you. You're about to cross a threshold that will change your destiny, and you can't do it with your eyes shut. You have asked for guidance, for a sign, for clarity, and now I give it to you. I come with urgency. There was a real risk that without realizing it, you might miss what I have said in your path, distracted by the pain inside, the fatigue you have been carrying, and the doubt that has grown too heavy in your heart. That is why I stop you now. That is why I bring you to this exact moment of your revelation. I speak to you because you have been carrying a burden that was never yours to carry. You have tried to take on responsibilities that weren't meant for you. You searched for strength in places where there was none. You have pretended to be at peace when your heart was slightly crying out. I saw it all, and out of love for you, I did not let it continue like this. I interrupt because you are holding on to burdens I never gave you. I interrupt because you have been ignoring the voice you needed to hear the most. I interrupt because you have been fighting battles that I already won for you, but you didn't understand. My child, this is the moment I reveal what I was hidden. I open your eyes to what you could not see before. I show you now that the days you have recently lived through were not by chance, but part of a deeper spiritual alignment. The pain and struggle you felt were not signs of weakness, but indication that my hand was guiding you towards something greater. Even though you didn't fully understand it, your soul knew, and now everything will begin to make sense. I want you to understand that if I'm calling you today, it is because you need to hear my voice before making decisions that will change your life. There are paths ahead of you that may appear right, but they are not the ones I have planned for you. There are paths ahead of you that may appear right, but they are not the ones I have planned for you. There are people around you who may seem important, but they will not help you lead to your true purpose. There are opportunities that look bright, but they will take you away from everything I have prepared for you. And there are spiritual moments happening in your life that you can only recognize when you stop and listen to me. That is why I am speaking now, why I am stepping in you with urgency, why I am drawing you closer to me before you continue walking without direction. I want to protect you, I want to guide you, and I want to stop you from choosing paths with tired eyes that can only be seen clearly by an awakened spirit. And this awakening starts now. If the message has touched your heart, if your soul has felt that I am speaking to you in this urgent moment, share this message with the person who holds a special place in your life because they too need to hear it before it is too late. And now, listen with your heart wide open because what I am about to say marks the beginning of something much bigger than what you can see right now. I am not simply asking you for your attention. I am not interrupting your day for no reason. And I am not just speaking comforting words. I raise my voice with authority because they are revelations I need to deliver to you. And this process begins right now. You have arrived at this moment because the Spirit was ready to hear. what your mind has tried to ignore for so long. This is the very moment where your story begins to align with plans I've always had for you. I have been watching over you since your first breath. I know every memory you hold, every hurt you tried to hide even from yourself, every lie that has made you question who you are, every false belief about your worth. Many of these lies came from the words that should never have been spoken, from comparisons that stole your confidence, from situations that made you feel small, incapable, or weak. But now I come with strength, with truth, with light, to undo everything the enemy tried to use to confuse your identity. He attempted to hold you back with doubt, to silence you with fear. He tried to wear you out emotionally until you stopped seeking the truth. He even tried to keep you from reaching this moment, but he failed. You are here because I wanted you to be here. You are here because I fought battles that you couldn't see so that you could hear my voice. Nothing can take away the authority of what I am telling you now. This is the beginning of ongoing conversation between me and your soul. I will continue to give you guidance. I will continue to lead you. There are truths that will change the way you see your journey ahead. I will guide you step by step, and no force can interfere with what I have already planned for your life. You have felt a weight in your chest, as if carrying something too heavy to describe. You have felt a call deep within you, something you cannot fully explain. You have felt an unspoken expectation, as though something big is about to happen, yet you couldn't see clearly what it is. I want you to know that this feeling is not by accident. It is the awakening of something I placed within you long ago. It is the first sign that you are entering a time when you need to learn to hear and follow my voice more clearly. I will teach you, shape you, and open your spiritual eyes so that you can recognize when I speak, when I move, and when I guide you. But before I go into more detailed instruction, there's a basic truth I want you to understand. You are not what others have said you to are. You are defined by the mistakes you have made, the falls you have taken, or the losses you have experienced. You are who I say you are. My voice holds the power to silence every other voice. And today, I raise you once again as someone who is chosen, seen, loved, and set apart to live a greater life than the pain that tried to hold you back. You are not lost. You are being found once again. What I am about to reveal will require your full attention, your sensitivity, and a deep inner decision to stay connected to my voice. I invite you to draw closer. I gather you around my protection, preparing you to go through moments that once filled you with fear. But for that moment, you must adopt a spiritual stance before me. And before what I am about to show you, this is the moment when you must position yourself, when you declare to the heavens that you are ready to keep listening to what I have to say. So, like this video and subscribe now as a simple act to confirm your decision to follow me through the next steps of the revelation. I know the restlessness you have been carrying deep in your heart. I saw when you tried to ignore it, when you tried to label it as something else, when you convince yourself it was just tiredness, stress, or too many responsibilities. But deep down, you know it wasn't just that heavy feeling that came without warning, that silence that weighed heavier than any voice, that sense that something wasn't right, even when everything seemed fine on the outside. That was my call. It was the gentlest way I knew to warn you before I had to speak to you as I am speaking now. You were taught to hide what you feel, to minimize the pain, to bury your emotions under the weight of your daily routine, to keep going even when you had no strength left. But I saw you, what no one else saw in you. I noticed when your thoughts raced for no clear reason, when your body showed signs that your mind tried to ignore, when you couldn't sleep, when you woke up with the sense that something important was missing. What you called anxiety was often your spirit trying to tell you that something needed to be balanced. It was me whispering to your soul, urging to pay attention to what was happening both around you and inside you. The restlessness you felt was not a mistake or punishment, it was protection. Even though you rejected it, I used it to guide you away from the paths that seemed right but would only drain you. I sent you signals asking for you to stop, to breathe, and to realize that something higher was trying to emerge in your life. And even when you tried to silence that inner voice with distractions, tasks, responsibilities, and even your own strength, I kept pressing on. Even if I hadn't placed that feeling in you, you would have continued on autopilot, falling into the places that weren't meant for you. I know when your soul becomes defensive. I know when you choose to act as tough, everything is fine, even when your heart longs to cry out for help. I know when you shrink back to avoid conflict, when you stay silent to avoid tension, when you get used to living with what you have, even though you feel something inside you calling for change. You ever had or days when your spirit searched for answers, but your mind pushed forward as though nothing was wrong. Still, I have watched over you with patience and love, waiting for the right time to show you what was truly hidden behind your restlessness. It was reminding you that you were never meant to live apart from my voice. It was a sign that you needed to reconsider the path you were on. That discomfort you felt in the middle of the day for no clear reason was not weakness, but spiritual insight. It was your spirit reacting to what you have and what your body could no longer carry alone. It was the mark I placed in you to prevent you from ignoring your soul any longer. I know there were times when you thought something was wrong with you, as if you weren't strong enough, as if your feelings were standing in the way of your progress. But let me tell you this, there was nothing wrong with you. It was I who called you, and you heard me even when you didn't fully understand. Don't confuse sensitivity with weakness, nor emotional depth with instability. What you called a burden was me trying to adjust you. What you made you cry without explanation was me removing from your spirit what should not be there. What was holding you back from moving forward as you once did. It was me protecting your future. And now that I speak directly to you, I want you to understand a truth that will free your heart. You have never been alone in your thoughts. You've always been there. In every tough night, in every moment when you couldn't explain how you felt, in every day when everything seemed fine uh, on the outside, but something inside you felt broken. You were never broken. You were never being shaped. You were being called. And today, you have finally reached the moment where I can explain clearly what you have been feeling all along. The restlessness was just the first step. My voice is now the second. What I will reveal next is the beginning of the understanding your heart has always searched for, but never found in the answers of this world. Now listen to my voice with an open heart because I need to show you something you have been avoiding about yourself. You are not trapped by weakness. You are not left behind because of lack of inability. You do not live in endless cycle because of a lack of intelligence or effort. The root of what you have been facing goes much deeper. You have been postponing what I have asked you to do for a long time. You have put your soul on pause, kept your faith silent, and delayed your purpose. You have made promises to yourself, telling yourself that tomorrow you would change, that someday you would pay attention to whatever spirit already knew was urgent, but that tomorrow you promised yourself never came. I saw every time you said you needed more time. I saw when you justified your indecision by claiming you were tired, overwhelmed, distracted, and weak. I saw when you said that as soon as things got better, you would give more to what I asked of you. But things didn't get better because the decision that would change your life depended first and foremost on your response. I couldn't move forward while you were stuck internally. You wanted clear direction, but you didn't want to break old habits. You wanted new answers, but you kept holding on to old attitudes. You wanted change, but you didn't want to take the first step in surrendering. I am not saying this to accuse you, but to free you. Spiritual procrastination often looks like caution, but it's one of the quietest traps the enemy uses. He doesn't need to knock you down if he can get you today to delay. He doesn't need to shut doors if you simply never walk through them. That's why I stand before you firmly now, because something is shifting in the spiritual realm of your life that no longer allows for waiting. You are a divine moment. You are at a crossroad where what I have prepared for you requires an immediate response, not a vague promise or a future plan. It is now. I need you to understand how the enemy has worked these past months. He didn't destroy you. He didn't stop you with force. He didn't push you off your path. He wore you down little by little, kept you too busy, made you adjust to surviving instead of truly living. And when you get used to the minimum, you stop seeking the greater things I've prepared for you, the maximum. The enemy fears your decision. He doesn't fear your words, he fears your action. He knows that once you make up your mind, nothing can stop you. That is why he kept your soul in a state of indecision, always ready to begin, but never actually starting. I love you too much to let you continue living like this. That's why I'm now showing you clearly spiritually that you have been putting off what could change your life today. You have been waiting for inspiration to take action, but it is moment that brings inspiration. You have been waiting for strength to take the first step, but it is the first step that brings the strength. You have been waiting to feel peace before obeying, but it is obedience that brings peace. That's why I speak to you so seriously now. The time of waiting has ended. You have asked for a clear sign, a moment that would remove your doubt. He has arrived. This is the moment I invite you to break the cycle of waiting, to stop the empty promises you have made to yourself, and to stop delaying what your spirit has been calling you to do. Now I want you to know that when you respond to my call in this exact moment, everything in the universe will align in your favor. Doors will open, angels will act, new paths will appear. What was closed will begin to open, what with blocked will start to flow. What seemed far away will draw closer. But all of this depends on your yesterday, not tomorrow. And to seal the spiritual decision to break the chain of procrastination that has held you for so long, I want you to take a simple action, one that carries great significance in the unseen world. Comment now 777, declaring that this is the moment you choose to answer my call and free yourself from everything that kept you stuck in the later. I know that feeling, that sense that your life is not moving as it should. I saw when you started to realize that no matter how hard you tried, something always seemed to pull you back to the same place. I saw when you tried to change your routine, your thoughts, your attitude, but nothing seemed to truly shift. The stagnation you feel in your fault is not your fault. It's not a sign of your incompetence, nor is it proof that you are meant to remain where you are. This stagnation is spiritual, and I am the only one who can truly reveal what is happening. You felt like you have been going in circles, repeating the same feelings, situations, fears, and patterns that should have been left behind.